Many years ago, in a peaceful countryside village, lived a humble farmer named Arden and his wife, Elena. They spent their days working tirelessly on their small farmland, but despite their hard work, a deep sadness stayed in their hearts because they had no children. One stormy night, while Arden was returning home through the heavy rain, he suddenly heard the faint cry of a baby. Following the sound, he found an infant boy wrapped in cloth lying near a haystack. He quickly took the child home, and Elena, though shocked at first, broke into tears and said that perhaps fate had finally blessed them. They adopted the child and named him Loren. As he grew up, Loren became gentle, hardworking, and respectful. Unlike other boys who complained about work, he quietly helped his parents, planting seeds, plowing the soil, and carrying water without expecting praise. Soon his crops began to flourish much better than anyone else's. The grains were larger, the fields greener, and the harvest plentiful. Instead of being happy for him, many villagers grew jealous and began to gossip. Some mocked him, others accused him of using tricks, and a few destroyed his tools and stepped on his crops when he wasn't around. But Loren never got angry. He continued working silently and treating everyone with kindness. One year, a terrible flood destroyed all the crops in the village, and families had nothing to eat. Children cried from hunger and helplessness spread, but Loren had stored his grains carefully throughout the year. He could have kept everything for his own family, but his heart did not allow it. Every night while the village slept, he quietly cooked food and left it at the doors of struggling families. In the mornings, villagers were surprised to find food waiting for them, not knowing who had saved them from starvation. Ironically, some of them still insulted Loren during the day without realizing he was the one keeping them alive. However, an elderly man named Bryn had seen Loren delivering food at night and could no longer remain silent. The next day, when the villagers gathered and complained again, Bryn stood in the center and shouted that the boy whom they insulted was the one feeding them every night. The villagers fell silent, ashamed of their actions. That same evening, royal soldiers arrived with the news that the king and queen had lost their infant son many years ago in a storm and had searched endlessly for him. After following several clues, their search had led to this village. When they saw Loren, they found the birthmark that confirmed he was the lost prince. The king and queen embraced him with tears in their eyes, while the villagers bowed in fear, remembering how terribly they had treated him. The king, filled with anger, ordered the soldiers to punish the villagers, but Loren knelt before his parents and said that if he could forgive them when he was helpless, he could not punish them now that he had power. He asked his parents to show kindness and forgiveness. The king and queen were moved by his compassion, and the villagers wept, touched by the prince's heart. From that day onward, Loren was not only known as the rightful heir to the throne, but also as the Prince of Compassion. Arden and Elena were honored and taken to the palace, where they lived comfortably for the rest of their lives. The story of Loren spread across the land, teaching everyone that jealousy and cruelty may rise like storms, but kindness remains forever, leaving behind hope, warmth, and love.